Richard Harrington, and I just want to say well done, because if you read the title, The 3 Levels of Financial Freedom, and you clicked on it and you're watching this video, that's a person that wants to invest in themselves and wants to grow. So well done for just watching this. So I want to begin with what do you think is the number one thing that's holding people back from financial freedom? Because I speak all over South Africa and I meet people time and time again, and the number one thing that's holding people back is their relationship with money. You see, because you learn how to become a lawyer, you learn how to become a doctor, but you don't learn about money. No one teaches you about money. So many people just have the weirdest beliefs around money, and they don't actually know that you're repelling money. You are your own block. Like many people think if they make a lot of money, people want to make loans from them. People will think, how did you get the money? Money's bad. I had a friend that said money is the root of all evil, and he said that because he didn't have any money. I mean, it's a love of money, it's not money. I tell people money is just paper. Money is just a tool. And the whole purpose of money is to be a blessing. When you're blessed, you can be a blessing. But if you're broke, you can't help anyone on a practical level. So when you see money as a tool, now you start attracting money because you're not afraid of money. You have a healthy relationship with money. So before I start with the 3 stages of financial freedom, which I think is important because many people have their goals, so you know where you're going, but if you don't know where you are right now, you can't actually measure your progress. You have to know your starting point. So many people know the businesses which I own, and they've heard me on radio and stuff, but they don't actually know my story because I wasn't born with money. I don't have a background of money, and so I think it's important for me to just explain my background before we go right into the 3 levels of financial freedom. So I want to begin by saying the first paycheck I received, I blew it because I wasn't used to money. And not just the first paycheck, for 2 years, money came in, money went out, I didn't know what was happening, bad lifestyle, bad friends, and I found myself deep in the hole, in the minus. And here's the most embarrassing part, I have a BCom in finance and investments from Marty's, Stellenbosch University. I have a BCom and I can't budget because I had a bad relationship with money. And then I thought, I am deep in the minus here, who can I approach? And here's the truth, I couldn't approach my friends because my friends was also in debt and also broke. So it would have been the blind leading the blind. So then I realized I was the one that put myself in this mess, I'm the one that will pick myself out of this mess. So I went researching because I'm a business analyst, and I went researching how can I pick myself out of this negative debt space. I went watching webinars, I read ebooks, I went to a course, I had a coach and a mentor, and in 12 months I wiped out all of my debt. Completely, debt free. Then I was riding home from work and I saw a beggar at the robot, and the thought hit me, this beggar has no debt as well. He's debt free. Because I meet people and they're like, Richard, I just want to be debt free. And then what? A beggar has no debt. Your goal in life cannot be to be debt free. There's another level to be wealthy. What is the definition of wealth? Because there's many people that drive Mercedes-Benz and they have no petrol money to put in that Mercedes-Benz, or they live in a big house and they have no money in their bank account. So that's not wealth. And I researched what wealth is, and wealth is an accumulation of your assets over time. Wealth is an accumulation of your assets over time. Then I went researching and I said, okay, what is the highest yielding assets in South Africa? And I researched everything from ETFs to index funds to unit trusts to property to bonds. And you know what was the number one asset in South Africa? Equities. Listed shares on our stock market. It's the number one asset in South Africa for the past 40 years. And I began to pump my money. It's in there. It's each month because there's no more loans and accounts. I'm debt free. And I knew if this money lies in my bank account, I'll just spend it, live my lifestyle, land back into debt. So I needed a place to funnel this money. But not in a place where the money won't grow. So I put it into shares. And after 6 months, the returns from my shares matched my salary. And I resigned. Because I had no more debt, my lifestyle was simplistic. I was just living off my shares at the age of 24, living off my shares. Then I thought, now what? So I'm young, I have all this energy, what to do? Let me teach what I know. And I made a course where you can learn to buy your first share, build a share portfolio, and you take the profits, and the course is 1 hour. That thing spread like wildfire. People requested my trainings in Joburg, PE. So we Skyped it, we Zoomed it. Now I rent hotels and the conferences around South Africa where I teach people to be your own investment manager without a broker. Then I spotted a gap in the market that I was making a lot of money for people, but what's the purpose of this money? Because you can't, I'm going to take this money with you. What's your vision here? What's the legacy you want to leave? That's when I became accredited as this NLP coach. Then I spotted another gap in the market that people were running their businesses in silos. This is my business, this is your business, I'm there, you there, and that's impossible for your business to grow. Because your network is your net worth. It's all about relationships. So I launched an events business to give people a fresh start. And right now we're launching my 4th business. So that's just my background. But I had to explain that first, because no matter where you are, you can work with what you have. The secret is, don't put the focus on what you don't have, put the focus on what you do have. So I'm about to explain the 3 stages of financial freedom. Okay, so the first level is your survival mode. That's for people where you just living month on month, you just want to pay the bills, and your main focus is to meet the needs of your family right now. That's people in the survival mode. And what you want to do there is to shift the focus to more stability mode. So that's level 2, your stable stage. That's when your income is a bit predictable, and there's a bit left over is after each month. Not a lot, but a bit left over. So you have a bit to save for an end of year holiday, short-term needs, maybe your kids' education. That's people in the stable mode. But now the problem with that is you cannot save your way to being wealthy, because there's not a savings account in South Africa that beats inflation. So people want to save for holidays, education plans. You are not beating inflation. And if you've attended my masterminds in the past, you will know that I speak about how they measure inflation is so old, outdated, because the products they use in that measurement, we don't use most of that now. So real inflation is 15%, 15%. So what's my point? If your savings rate is not higher than 15%, 15%, you're not building real wealth. And here's the frightening part. There is not a savings account in South Africa that beats inflation. As I tell people, I'm against saving because you cannot beat inflation. So the way to move into the 3rd level is you have to invest. You cannot save your way into wealth, you invest your way there. Because in your 3rd level, which is the abundance level, that's when you have enough to meet your family needs and your business needs that you have left over to make a difference in your community and make an impact and to leave a legacy. So people in the abundance level, they think about purpose, impact and legacy, because they've invested their money into assets and they live off asset income. So when you speak about asset income, there's active income and asset income. Active income is your salary. is asset income is your income of your assets. And when you look at the Forbes list, they are ranked according to their asset income, not the salary, because none of them have jobs. I mean, when you read Rich Dad and Poor Dad, it says you have a job, you just never broke. Wealthy people don't have jobs. That's why people that have a goal to be business manager, you'll never be wealthy. It's the business owners that become wealthy, not managers. And then the second thing is, when you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, it says your house isn't even an asset, it's an expense. So a job and a house is not an asset. Yet that's what we're taught from a young age. Get a good job and buy a house. That's why people can't retire. That's why people aren't wealthy. Because broke people are broke, so they get advice from broke people. If you want to be wealthy, take advice from wealthy people. That's what this one magazine I read, and that's Forbes. It's a magazine on billionaires. So when you look at these three levels, where are you right now? Are you in the survival mode, the stable mode, or the abundance mode? And the good news is, you are where you are now because of you. Once you take 100% responsibility, the good news is, if you want to move up in the levels, it will all depend on you. And that's a gift to have. Choice. So, what I've realized was, a person in the survival mode, you can't speak to them about legacy and purpose and impact. Their focus is, I must meet the needs for my family right now. And that's where, because I was, when I had all the debt and all the loans, I never had the luxury to speak about what's my purpose, what's the meaning of life. No, people were calling me, when are you going to pay your account? So, you need to realize where you are at before you know where you're going. And then take it one step at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's all about the process. And like I mentioned, wealth is an accumulation of assets over time. The most important word there being time. So now that you have this knowledge, the three levels of financial freedom. You've heard my story, the mistakes I have, and they say a wise man learns from another man's mistakes. A wise man learns from his own mistakes. A genius learns from the mistakes of others. So now that you learn from my mistakes and you have this knowledge now, the three levels of abundance, remember one important thing. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is not power. People buy books, they attend courses, but that's potential power. It's not power, it's potential power. Applied knowledge, that's power. At the end of the day, life rewards people who take action. So if you're watching me right now and you say, Richard, I want a fresh start. In fact, I need a fresh start. I will be having a special event. This won't happen a lot because of the businesses which I run. This is a special event for people that want to make a change. Now, it is a full day event. It's not a few hours, it's a full day, intensive event. And here's what we will work through on that day. In the morning, I will be explaining step by step everything I did to wipe out all of my debt, because I want to help people get rid of the debt. And then I'll speak about how I launched 3 businesses and about to launch business number 4. Because like I mentioned, the only people that build wealth are the business owners. Managers, employees get a small slice of the pie. If you want to be wealthy, you have to own the house. You want to write that down. If you want to be wealthy, you have to own the house. The house always wins. Don't work for the house, own the house. And I'll explain how you can move from being a manager to a business owner. And then when you start a new business, raise up an apprentice, interns, 1 or 2 years, you can step out, let them run the business, so you can start business number 2. You do the same thing. Rise up people, so you can step out, start business number 3. Because it's not about working in the business, it's about working on the business. And in the afternoon, I will be explaining how you can buy your first share, build a proper share portfolio, and take profits without a broker. And I'll explain how you can build your own portfolio. And that's where we're going to go deep. Because I tell people the gold in the oil is deep. You got to drill deep. Many people are wondering why they're broke. It's because they're playing in the mud in the sand. Drill deep. There was a joke, my friend says he wants to launch a YouTube channel. And I said, sure, you go for it. So I met him later and I said, how's it going? And he's like, no, it wasn't working. He left that. And I'm like, how long were you at it? And he said, 3 weeks. See, you lack persistency. The gold is deep. Stick with it. And that's what we're going to do. We are going to go deep. And then you will have a full manual. That's your workbook. And I tell people the bonus of that event is the lunch. Do not miss the lunch, because that's where you build your network. And your network is your net worth. It's in the lunch where the deals are made. Why? Because of relationships. So you will have the morning where we're going to speak about living a debt-free life and becoming a business owner. Then we're going to have the networking lunch. And in the afternoon, you will become your own investment manager without a broker. If you want to live in that abundance level, you're going to need a fresh start, a total reset button on your thinking. So I want to read a quote for you. It says, ultimately, there's one investment that supersedes it all. Invest in yourself. Because what you have in yourself, nobody will remove that. And everyone has potential that they haven't realized yet. You know who said that? Warren Buffett. And right now he's worth 82 billion US. He's the richest share investor in the world, but he's 89 years old. What's my point? Wealth takes time, but not time that you waste, time that you spend investing in yourself. And everything in life happens because you took action. If you haven't taken action, nothing will happen. And the easiest thing you can do is do nothing. One thing you can never get back. And people say it's money. No, I can make more money. I can't make more time. Time is not money. Time is more important than money. And many people don't take action and they wait and wait and wait. Nothing will change unless you change. Many people say, oh, I hope next year will be better. Hope isn't a strategy. Hope is a weak way to live your life. If you want next year to be better, you need to make it better. And it will just be a better year if you take better actions. If you do the same thing, you get the same results. Just before we wrap up here, I just want to say that we're limiting my event to 50 people because I don't want more people than that, because my event is interactive and I'm not about big numbers, I'm about big impact. I want to see the change in people. So I will know everyone's name in the room and we're going to work through this. Like I said, it's a day of intensive. We want to get a fresh start, because it also, if you want to make impact a difference, it has to start with your personal success. You have to be successful first in your own life before you can make the country successful. So I've launched 3 businesses, no loans, all from investing in assets. And I tell people, wealthy people don't do products. They don't do like savings accounts and annuities. They invest into assets, shares, real estate, businesses, and themselves. That's only 4 assets. And the more these assets you have, the wealthier you are. So just before we wrap up, there's a testimonial I put on the screen of a lady by the name of Rosca. Every time I read this, it just makes my day, because that's the reason why I have that event, to give people a fresh start. She attended that event, and you can just read what she says. But I'd like to I thank you for watching this video, and I'm excited to meet you in person, and I'm excited for you that you will have a fresh start, so that you can have a fresh mindset, and that you can actually be a blessing because you are blessed. So I'd like to say much love, and this is Richard Harrington. Thank you.